everyone, so I'm in a bit of a different setting today because it is so hot that I literally cannot put any of my studio lights on, and if you hear any background noise, it's just cars going past. So I do apologise, but I did just want to do a quick short video today on how I take my pictures on my Instagram page. I'll leave it here if you're not following me yet, please do, because it'd be lovely to go and chat to you guys and to sort of share and follow other people as well that are not sort of like mainstream influencers and that bring sort of fresh ideas to the page. So I just want to show to you guys today how I take my pictures. So first and foremost, I'll sit in front of the, well actually kneel to be fair, in front of the window, because having sort of that really good lighting in front of you is going to really help and benefit your eye looks with just natural lighting. I find that more artificial lighting can tend to make everything look a bit more shadowy and a bit more textured, so yeah, it's your best friend. Natural lighting really is your best friend. The next thing that I use, a mirror. So I'll just use sort of this mirror that I have sitting on my desk, and what I tend to do is to put that on the ledge, and then that helps me to sort of see what, like, sort of the actual framing of the picture that I'm taking, which I'll allude to now. The third thing I do is I always take my pictures on, I'm just going to cover it up because I've got my card and ID and stuff in the back of here. I always use my iPhone. I think it's the iPhone 11 Pro. This has got a pretty good camera to be fair, and as you can see it's got these three, I think they work. I don't know, I mean nothing is quite as good as a DSLR camera. Yeah, so what I'll do is I will tend to open up just the normal sort of camera app here. I keep it on 1 times, like I'm just on the standard. Let's just say for example I want to take like a picture of my eye look. Firstly, the natural lighting is going to help to sort of lift and add highlight to the features that you want it to bring out colour a lot better, versus sort of like if I'm in the shadows or something. I'm sat in front of the window now, so I'll try and show you in another sort of clip. Put my camera on a tilt like this. So can you see how I've got both of my eyes in the actual frame? If you want to take one, then obviously be my guest, but I tend to find that on an angle I can sort of play around with it a little bit better and get the whole look in the go. Here, where you can't fully see like all of the colours and stuff like that, I tend to make sure that this eye is like super good, and then obviously just using sort of my right hand, I just feel like I've got better control over that as well. Me personally, I try to avoid angles that are kind of like this. Oh, for that obvious reason. Avoid angles that look like this, and what I do is to always make sure that the camera is above my eye, tilted, and then in terms of facial expression, always look sort of tilt my head slightly and look just straight ahead of me, if that makes any sense, versus sort of doing it like this, or you know, just sort of looking straight on. And then the very last sort of thing that I tend to do, especially if I'm doing like a spotlight eye or anything like that, I lift my eyebrows slightly, so like that. So if I want to, really showcase glitter like I have here, or if I want to really showcase sort of a spotlight eye, I tend to always sort of just lift my eye slightly and bring it in. So always try and make sure that you've got both eyes in, that you've got this as your, or your left as your dominant side, and then you can just slightly see the colour on the other side. But again, use your mirror and sort of use it like this so that I can actually see, if you see it like here, in the mirror, exactly where my photo is pointing. And just for reference as well, I always use the back camera because that is just the best, unless I'm taking selfies. When it comes to actually editing the pictures, personally I want to keep a lot of texture in my skin and not to edit the skin too much, because if I'd see sort of really edited, smoothed out skin, it always made me feel quite bad about my skin, and it always made me feel more so, I think, like whatever picture I put up, it just wasn't worthy, because it just made me think that, you know, my pictures weren't ever good enough to be shared, or they weren't good enough to be promoted and that sort of thing. So I don't like doing that basically. So what I do is to go into an app called Facetune, and let's just say for example I've got this picture here from this morning, and it's exactly what I have on now. To go to the tones section, And if there's anything that I feel like maybe hasn't come up on the screen as much, or you know, there's a colour that I really wanted to pop and it just hasn't come through, then what I want to do is just sort of go over the actual colour, let's just say for example, or you've spent so long on this eye look and maybe you've missed out a little bit of a section or something like that, to maybe smooth over that ever so slightly. And then I'll always sort of darken my lashes as well, because it often comes across as quite grey looking, and I just feel like it looks a bit more standout-ish with my eyelashes blackened, and they are black in real life, and that's, yeah. So what I also do is I make sure that I just go over and erase anything that looks too blocky, or anything that looks too dissimilar to what's there already, and I'll just sort of press the before and after button just to make sure. And then once I'm pretty much done with that, I have to go onto Instagram. And as I'm about to sort of upload my look, this was a picture that I took earlier. On next, edit, adjust, and I'll sort of just play around with the composition of it so it looks a bit like that. But if I wanted to, I could really sort of play around with like rotating the picture and how it looks, so you can play around with that. And the reason I take pictures on an angle is because it fit better on the Instagram screen, and I can play around with it a bit more, and I just like that whole sort of diagonal look. But again, it is totally personal preference. So yeah, I'm going to stop now because I've been chatting for what feels like so long, and this should have been so short. But hopefully you've enjoyed this video. You know, let me know how these things have helped you, or if they haven't, or if there's anything I haven't included. But that's it. And don't forget to follow me on my Instagram, and I shall see you guys very soon. Bye.